Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for Ark Survival Evolved. Today in this video, folks, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about taming a Troodon. Now, it is a passive tame, but it is a tame with a bit of a quirk. And really, you want to be taming this creature during the night. So very important here. Now, you have to bear in mind that the Troodons do tend to be around other Troodons, so if you see one, the chances are that there might be others around them. They also do have a chance of knocking you out, and what I suggest before you even start taming a Troodon that you want is to make sure that the area is cleared. Now we're going to start with a trap, and you'll see why. There are several methods for taming this, but I'm just going to stick to the best and most efficient way of doing it. I'm going to also spend some time talking about the other methods and why they're not that efficient. So first things first, we're going to do the trap. It's going to be a 2x2 foundation if these galleys don't get in the way. Alright, so there we are. That is the base of the trap. We're going to put down door frames all the way around. We only want one tall. Now, the nice thing is that the Troodon cannot go through the door frames. However, if you do fall into the trap for whatever reason with a Troodon or multiple Troodons, it does let you get back out. Once you have these down, you then want to place some ramps. What I would do here, simply because there are multiple Troodons around the area, I will place ramps kind of all the way around them, just in case. I don't know where I'm going to be cutting it from. That Gallimimus is really annoying. It's in the way. So we'll do this. I'm going to place them like so. So that should allow me to get out of the trap if I do end up falling in there. I shouldn't though. And this should also allow me to kite Troodons from pretty much any angle. They are kind of difficult to spot. They are tiny, and this isn't a one of those areas where it's well covered in vegetation. So I'm going to get rid of this silly terror bird. Seems to be a high level one, so got rid of that one. Alright, so that should pretty much sort the trap out. Once you have the Troodon in there, we'll then remove them just to stop other creatures getting in the trap. So there's one right there. I know there's a high level one somewhere around this area. They are hard to spot, especially at night. They are quite tiny and they do mix with the foliage. So I'm going to get rid of the ones that I don't want. Now this may potentially aggro other Troodons. We'll see. Let's find the other one. We got something right there. We don't want to deal with that either. That might complicate the situation. I'm trying to find where the other ones are. So let's have a look. I know they're around here. There's at least 3 or 4 Troodons that I spotted. And this is why I started setting up the video in this location. They can be in the bushes as well, which would be difficult to spot. Gonna get rid of this right there. We don't want anything to tempt the Troodon. Now, the way we're going to tame the Troodon is, or the way you need to tame the Troodon is to feed it one of your tames. Now, it's not just one of your tames. You want something that is a strong tame. Now, I'm going to show you how to aggro it. Notice that if I walk towards it on my mount, it will not aggro. I need to be right on top of it. I will dismount the wyvern, then it aggroes onto the wyvern. So this is something that I need to point out. It is very important because we will be feeding our tame to the Troodon. Now you can do this with baby dinos, and it does work best with wyverns and gigas. However, it does not naturally attack creatures like wyverns and gigas, and if you're mounted on them, and the same rule of thumb applies to the baby versions of it, if you're mounted on it, it won't attack it. You have to dismount it to get the Troodon to aggro onto the wyvern, as you saw right there. Now this can complicate the situation if you are using or planning to use a baby dinosaur, because it may not attack it. Now you can use pheromone darts, but then that will aggro other dinos from around the area. So the best way to do it is by having a dino that you can mount. Now I'm going to show you a little glitch area that you guys need to be aware of. So you want to take your dino in with maybe 200 health at that point. Now I took this wyvern in at around 1,000 health. So what happened was the Troodon initially attacked the wyvern and got it fairly close to being killed, but then won't engage the wyvern. I can actually even go into the trap and it won't aggro onto me. So this is something that you guys need to know. Also, I strongly suggest that you remove the ramps from around the trap once you have the Troodon that you want inside the trap. But notice that no matter what I do, the Troodon will not aggro onto me. So make sure that when you take whatever creature you're going to feed to the Troodon, that it has maybe, I'd say, 200 to 250 health left. That way it will end up killing it. So we're going to move on to the next section. I will have to get another Troodon. Alright, we have a fresh Troodon here, and I noticed that I'm now in my wyvern's inventory. I am monitoring health, and basically it takes 15 per attack out of the health. So once we get to the last hit, I will come out of the inventory and then dismount the wyvern. Very important here, your creature needs to be on neutral as it needs to fight back. Otherwise it will not tame the Troodon. If it's on passive, if it does not attack back, it will not tame the Troodon once it kills it. So very, very important here. Now with wyverns and gigas, for example, a giga will one-shot the Troodon. You don't want that to happen. So you want to time your dismounting the tame that you put in there with or just before the final hit. So it can take a bit of practice. However, it is doable and you can do this on official servers, but you have to do it at night. Now normally you cannot pick up the Troodon. It is too big for you to carry it as a shoulder mount, and it has an ability where it's good at picking up traps and mines and stuff like that, and it's pretty much like a little spy that you can have with you. Very useful for that. Definitely a good PvP creature to have. Other than that, doesn't really do much of anything. It is an annoying creature to come across in the wild, and it is a very expensive creature to tame if you ask me. Now, a couple of things to note and problems that I found with taming the Troodon. If you try and use the baby method, if you're going to go for a giga or a wyvern, for example, so I'm just going to show you right there that you can't pick it up. With the baby wyvern and giga, they tend not to aggro onto them. It's quite derpy trying to get them to aggro onto the baby giga and wyvern. So a full grow mount will work. The other thing that you need to know is that if you're going to use pheromone darts, there's a good chance that you will aggro other creatures around, and basically it will complicate the situation quite badly, and it can end up in the situation where the pheromone dart aggroes everything around onto your mount or whatever you're trying to feed to the Troodon, and the Troodon's still not aggroing. So that is a bit derpy right there. There is a bit of, I would say that the AI is sometimes derpy. So the best way, the best and simplest way is to have a full grown giga or a wyvern. It's a guaranteed tame. Bring its health down to 200. Bear in mind that if it has full food and it's fully fed, it will start regenerating, so you need to keep that in mind. If you starve it, then that's okay, but bear in mind that it will regenerate health, so you need to keep it at somewhere, I'd say 200 to 250, just so that the Troodon doesn't have to apply too many hits. I would never suggest or recommend getting a low level Troodon, because you are sacrificing a, I would say, important creature to this particular Troodon. It does have uses in PvP, and that's pretty much it. It does look pretty cool. And important things to note here are that if your dino has a lot of health, your Troodon that you're trying to tame will attack it for a certain time, and then it will lose interest in it. You can use pretty much any creature you want to feed it to it, but it just takes that much longer. All Troodons do tend to tame with 100% taming effectiveness, no matter what you feed it. However, for example, if you were to use a dodo, it would take thousands of dodos to actually get this thing tamed. It's not practical, so you'll need something bigger. I think anything from a T-Rex upwards will work. I think it takes 2 T-Rexes to feed to a Troodon that is of level 150 during the night. And so you want really to go with a Giganotosaurus or a Wyvern, and remember to have that creature's health at around 200, probably even below. But if you're going to go below 200, then you do run the risk of killing the Tame you want to feed to the Troodon. So, you know, do what you think. Is it worth it? It's up to you guys. But bear in mind that this is more of an end game Tame, simply because you are going to feed it powerful dinos. And by powerful dinos, once again, I'm going to emphasize Giganotosaurus and Wyverns, because all you need to do is feed it one of these creatures and it will instant tame on official servers. Very important here is you want to do it at night. And also, oftentimes in my videos, I have advertised Dodo decks as a good source of information for taming. However, with Dodo decks, this time around, it's not necessarily helpful. It doesn't really give a lot of information with regards to taming the Troodon. Now, of course, you can also feed it a Spino and a Rock Elemental. Just bear in mind that with the Rock Elemental for 150, you may need to have a Rock Elemental that is 199. I think a Spino is 164. Whereas with the Wyvern, if it is level 78 or above, it's an instant tame. And with the Giganotosaurus, if it is a level 43 or above, it's going to be again an instant tame. Now, very important here is, whilst you can do this during the day, really you want to do it at night, because you do get bonus to the taming. So that means it will tame quicker. You don't need to feed it any other creatures. That is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.